G'day, guys. Welcome to the Two Guys, One Word podcast. I'm your host, Kevin,
I'm Anthony.
and today we are here to review the Primitive War movie.
Yes, this one was a great one, released by Luke Sparke, Australian director, and
Yes.
right now featuring heavily on Netflix, folks.
Yes, it's actually, well, watching last night is actually number 4.
Uh,
So it's succeeding other related genre, so which is great, which is very great for an Australian film.
Definitely.
And all right, Anthony, let's just get right into this.
All right. Well,
I heard you got to. Nice work, Baker. You gotta be a lunatic if you're gonna be a vulture. Let's see what you guys think of this next mission. 3 days ago, I lost my Green Berets. We're gonna drop you in right here, in that valley. We got our job. Find those Green Berets. And that's not an option. Listen, my mission is to get my men home, not fight dinosaurs. I'm gonna go find them, dead or alive. Better get fueled up and get ready. We're doing what you want. We're probably all gonna die screaming because of it.
all right. Well, this one is starring Jeremy Piven, Ryan Quatton, Trisha Helfer, and Jeremy Lindsay Taylor, to name a few.
Yes, to name a slight few. So a lot of, from what we've picked up from here, a lot of familiar names if you are aware with Australian TV and such like that. So you should know some of these names. But with this, so with Primitive War, this is based in 1968 Vietnam War, and it is basically about a unit known as the Vulture Squad who were sent to an isolated jungle valley to uncover the fate of a missing Green Beret platoon, and they soon discover that they are not alone.
Yeah, that's for sure. But especially from the beginning, folks, when we're thrown into this film, we're thrown into the thick of it.
Yes, we are very much so. And with that, before we start that, well, this is based off the book of the same name, Primitive War, and it is by Ethan Pateas. So, amazing book, people. If you've not read this book, please pick it up. Best read if you're into dinosaurs and that. Please check this out. But also back to the movie. Like you said, thrown straight into the thick of it.
Yeah.
Like
And you got
amazing.
all three books.
I don't have all 3 books yet. I just have the first one. So I am hoping to get the whole series because this is like I think either 3 or 4 book series or even more. So a lot of material there, which could be really cool if translated well into film. But with this movie, it has a runtime of 2 hours 13 minutes, which isn't too bad with nowadays movies, being close to 3 hours. Looking at you, James Cameron. And also, this was released on the 21st of August, 2025. And
Yeah.
I saw this at cinemas when it came
So
out,
did I.
and blown away on the big screen with this. Such a good film. This is such a good film to see on the big screen. But
Definitely.
with the opening scene of this film, it is just straight off the bat, you're just in darkness, this the Green Beret team is obviously panicking because again picked off one by one, and just the setting, Anthony, of this film is just amazing. You got the darkness, the rain, just the unknown. What do you think?
Yeah, and then because when it begins, you don't know what's going on, and these guys are obviously panicked, and like they seem like they're outnumbered, and then it's just this like unrelenting force, is surrounding them, and like then something's definitely going on there.
When you see the cover of this movie, you've seen the trailer, like there's dinosaurs in this film, and the way they just set that, like you said, was just great.
But the way sorry to cut you off.
No, go.
The way they did it's just like they didn't just reveal it to you. It's just like, hey, we're gonna slow burn, and it's like an unknown entity is picking these soldiers off one by one.
That's right, yeah. And just seeing the fear and just you just don't know what's there. But then after that big opening scene, they cut to the Primitive War, title. Yeah, exact. Thank you. The title, and then you move on to the next scene, which is just great. The flow of this movie is pretty good because the setting is obviously Vietnam War, and they just match it so well with the visuals.
Yeah,
and just everything they put in with it. So then after, when you go through that and you come to the base that's there, and then you're obviously met with other characters, a semi-base. Sorry, no, you're met with at a little village first.
Yeah,
and all that. But when they're with these little villages with the Vietnamese people, you just straight off the bat, you're set in that setting, the 1960s, the language,
like right in the thick of the Vietnam War.
But it's just sets you in that tone. You're like, okay, this is like, we're here. They're taking it seriously in that time, and it's really great.
And and like I was saying to you before, like the believability of the story from the jump, and obviously going from the beginning where it was real dark to suddenly it's light, and it's this massive village, obviously, which has already been involved in heavy conflict, and it's American soldiers, and so from the jump there's attitudes, there's personalities of the different people, and people who are still very green and still very new to battle, and then you got the hardened, like colonels and sergeants, and so it's like everyone's like kind of just trying to fill their place. And it's really good that second sort of scene that you just run into, and then moving from there, we also meet the Vulture Squad. Yes,
they're on a bit of an operation to, I think, just take down this encampment of soldiers that they've been sent to, obviously clear out, because I believe the Vulture Squad, they're sort of like a clear out special op team.
Yeah.
So they go in, they just go to villages, clean them out of the enemy, and just move on, sort of thing. In and out clean sort of stuff. And very good, very compelling scene, this one. Obviously, back in the rain setting, raining. And they have, a sniper. So they obviously have snipers, just little commanders that go through. But it's just really good. It's just good action, 80s sort of feel to it, where it's just the whole layout of it. And what did you think of this one?
I thought the camaraderie from the jump was obviously everyone had their own task, and it's just obviously they were there on a rescue, and obviously when they got there, because they're surrounded by the VCs, the Viet Cong, and so when we're presented with them, obviously they've come across a lot of dead soldiers, and so when they get to the point where they find the hostages that were still alive, obviously, they're relieved that they found someone, they found two soldiers, but surrounded by the stark reality of war, that not everyone can be saved.
And also the amount of violence in the scene as well is amazing. It's really good. It gets you ramped up, gets you the whole, get them sort of fighting. The blood, the whole Love that. I love that they didn't hold back, didn't shy
And
away
that's
from
right.
that. It's just
Yeah,
that's really
it's
good.
not like overdone gore.
No, no.
But it's believable. Like that's what I kept feeling throughout the film. It's just like this is like not overdone. It's just like, but it is, graphic. It is telling you like,
Yes.
hey, this is real. This really, they're really trying to bring the viewer into the story. It's like you're standing there with them, and that,
Yeah.
that's what I liked.
Absolutely. That's what I was hoping for. Because again, reading the first book, that gore level is just through the roof with the book. It's not over the done in the book. It's a book. It describes it, of course. It needs to, so you can describe. But then when it's translated to screen, they did it really good.
Yeah,
They did tastefully, is what I'm going to say.
And
not over the top. So
and it's like you said, these soldiers, they've obviously been out in the thick of it for a while, and so when they rescue these soldiers, they're under the impression that they're going to have a chance to settle back for a bit and like
go home.
Go home, because obviously been
They're
there for a while. So
yeah, exactly. And then from there we move to the main base of the Americans, which is really cool because then it shows them they come off the helicopter and they're relieved. One of the guys got shot, so he's like, make sure, hey, get that sorted. He goes, no, I'm fine. Just the whole, I'm tough guy, don't worry about me sort of stuff. That's really cool. And then we meet the big man.
Yes, we meet Jericho.
Yes, right. Meet Jericho, which is starred by Jeremy Piven.
Yes.
Which is an interesting pick, I will say. I was not... When I thought of Jericho, I don't know who I would have thought to play that character. But Jeremy Piven was not in my mind for some reason. And no, kudos to him. He did
it. Was surprising,
amazing.
wasn't
it? He
it?
did good. Yeah, he did good.
Yeah.
He was funny. He was straight to the point. He's like, don't mess with me sort of
He's very
style.
blunt, isn't he?
Yes, well, that's what Jericho's like.
Yeah.
He's very straight to the point. He's like, I'm in charge. You just do what I say.
Yeah, but he's very sneaky as well.
Yeah.
Which we find out.
And it's really good. But we also find out as well that Jericho is actually with... so Jericho knows Baker, so they have a bit of a history with each other. Which is really cool.
Which again goes back to they've really set up storylines for these characters and really made it so it's like they've been out there for a while, and so like seeing that dynamic as well, because obviously Baker, he's right into the thick of the mission, but like he also has his morals. And he has his ethics about war and how things should be done. Whereas we learn about Jericho, well, he likes being in charge and likes the power that comes with it. But, they're very different kind of people.
That's right.
Yeah.
And moving up to there, we also they are introduced to the new mission, which is for them to go find the missing Green Berets.
Yes.
As you've seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
Jeremy Piven, I've missed my effing Green Beret. Like, it's so good. The F word is thrown around so much in this movie.
Yeah.
It's a very strong, but it's good. It sets the tone. That's the way it was. And it's funny how you got the greenhorn, Leon.
Yeah.
He's just like, what are we doing? And Jericho's like, mate, it's classified.
Yeah.
And he keeps going and everyone's like, dude, just shut up.
Like the need to know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's new. He's like, what are we doing? He's like, don't ask, just do.
But he's got a lot to prove too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's just trying to... Well, apparently Vulture Squad is a very elite status to have in this squad. So he's like, he wants to show that he can do it.
But I thought it was quite funny when Baker was talking to Jericho, and they were talking about how to be in the Vulture Squad. I had it. His words were that you got to be a lunatic if you are not a vulture.
Yeah,
and I thought
exactly
I like that.
Gotta be a lunatic if you're gonna be a vulture.
Yeah, that was good. That was very funny. That was and the humor in this is good because slowly after that point, we're kind of in this scene where they're doing like a little just connecting. Everyone's connecting with each other.
Mm.
They have their own little set. They're set in their own little hut tent
Yeah.
thing, and you've got Keys coming in with a bunch of stuff, and he's like, adult content, magazines and stuff, and
candy.
Eli's got alcohol and all that sort of stuff, and it's a cool little scene, this one, where they get to talk to each other, interact with each other,
banter,
and kind of see where they're at. Like, they all get along, but they give the newbie Leon a hard time.
Yeah.
And Keys is a funny character too.
He is.
He's really funny. He's a very just a clown sort of character, where he's just the comic relief a little bit, is what I'm going to say, And then also you slowly, with Logan, that you sort of realize with Logan that he's got a bit of a past with conflicts, because he's suffering from a little bit of PTSD, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so like that dynamic between Keys and Logan, obviously we learn that they lean on each other, but Keys is kind of like a comfort to Logan, because obviously he's been with him for a long time and knows that Logan is suffering from what he calls voices in his head, and he has to kind of pull him back from what those voices make Logan want to do, because as we learn that Logan kind of just, he can't handle how loud those voices get, and so Keys kind of pulls him back from the edge, so to speak. The dynamic between the guys like Miller, and Eli, and like some of them are just like, they're willing to do anything for Baker, and so obviously they're a bit reluctant to go on this mission, because they're like, well, what are we going to, when are we going to get a break?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then slowly after this one, we go into the next segment when they're flying to the location and get dropped off. The reason why I want to mention this one is because I kind of like this. This is kind of like, when I was watching it again, I was like, this kind of reminds me of different war movies, when they're getting dropped off on top, when they get land, they get spread out and stuff, which is really, really cool and a really good scene. It just, it brings back a lot of war scenes, war movies, stuff like that, which is good. That's what you want, It sets the tone for you.
Yeah.
Makes it sort of that little thing. I thought it was interesting with that.
I liked it, like how they were thrown straight into the thick of it, but their notion of what the mission was, is a completely different thing to what. Yeah, they got no idea what they've been thrown in it. Yeah, exactly.
No idea.
Yeah.
And then when they come across the Green Beret stuff, like they come across a pack and that, and they find a feather, like a feather, a big feather. It's funny how I'm pretty sure it was either Leon. He's like, it might be an ostrich or something like that.
Emu.
Emu ostrich, and he goes, they're like, emu here.
And then he's like, looking at the footsteps as well.
It's very bird-like.
Yeah.
Which is very true. Very true.
So, like, they still don't know what they're going to be facing, but that size of that, the feather alone, I mean, that just gives you kind of like a glimpse of what is ahead.
I'm pretty sure that was an ostrich feather. It looked like an ostrich feather.
Oh, there you go. It was a big bloody ostrich.
It looked like an ostrich feather to me. But it was cool. I like this aspect that they introduced feathers with the dinosaurs, which were very soon coming in, that you see, because soon after that Ryan is taken by a creature,
dragged away.
He's completely dragged away straight away. And that was really cool little scene and all that. And my partner, my wife, she was watching and she's like, he couldn't shoot that in the head. I'm like, come on, man, it's huge.
It's like reaction time, eh?
Exactly. But no, it was that was a cool scene how it dragged him away and he kind of shot it, like whatever, scared it off. But another little hint back to the book with that is in the book, the creature marked Baker
like a scent.
Yeah, sort of like a bite scent.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, and so that's how they were able to follow them throughout the whole thing. So
Oh, okay.
if you're wondering why they
That
could track them
explains a
down,
lot then.
and yeah, they didn't have to mention that, but in the book they sort of mentioned how he was marked, and when you're marked by that creature, it's pretty much you're done.
Wow.
You can't escape. You can't escape it.
Because their scent must be
Um,
for like
yeah,
long distances.
yeah. It was a cool little thing in the book with that sort of sense, with that scene. But moving on, so you got a bunch of this action stuff. So they're all going through the jungle and stuff, and then you meet another little creature, which I thought was a really cool standout when you're first introduced to the dinosaurs you see.
Yes.
So you're introduced to the Deinonychus. So they're these little raptor-looking creatures, and they're all covered in feathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was very intrigued by that.
And can I say, obviously, growing up, whenever you thought of dinosaurs, you didn't think of it straight away of dinosaurs with feathers.
No.
And so it was a nice touch.
Yeah, it's good because I think it's more historically accurate.
Yeah.
From what we're used to seeing from other films and stuff, from what we know, and I like that. Like it's different. It is just something different, and I'm happy to see something unique.
Well, it's like they've gone like they want to be true to the history.
Yeah,
of the animals.
Because I think Luke Sparke, he went to Queensland because some of this was, I think, majority of this was filmed in Queensland. But there's a dinosaur museum out there.
Okay.
And it's a base where they prepare fossils and stuff like that. And it's in, I believe it's Winton, Queensland.
Well, he did a great job, didn't he?
Oh, he did amazing. Kudos to Luke Sparke. He's powerhouse, this guy. But with coming back to that scene, it was good to see him portray these creatures in a way. And when we're going slowly after that, when they go into the cave area, they're just, and when they're bombarded from them,
like a horde of them.
What a scene!
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there's, yeah, exactly. I don't know how many there was.
No, and it's just like lucky they had the weapons, and like obviously they obviously did not expect to come across dinosaurs because at first they're not sure what the hell they are.
No. And when they're creeping through that cave, you just see the little beady eyes.
Yeah, when they're walking.
Like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Cool little touch. And they turn around. Well, what was it? Eli. He notices. Miller. I apologize. Yeah, Miller. He's the one that notices him first. He turns around, then you see the creature right there, and it's like, holy crap! And then it's on. It's just bang, fire.
The action. It's boom, boom, boom. It's non-stop.
What did you think of that scene in particular? Like, did you think the muzzle flashes were a bit too much?
A bit full on, but you know what? Again, like in that kind of scene in that setting, and you can just imagine how everything would be going off.
Just chaos.
Yeah, complete chaos. So like,
chaos.
nothing can be perfect because these guys are just wanting to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to die. They don't know what this is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And so, and they're separated at this point.
Yeah.
So you got Leon and Baker who go off in one direction. You got the rest of the squad that go in another direction. Which is which is pretty cool because obviously there's chaos and they're just like, we need to get out, and they just go to get out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then we're very soon, like this movie just keeps you going in this, and I love it. The flow is amazing.
Non-stop.
So we're introduced to a really awesome creature as always, which by Baker and Leon, we are introduced to the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That's right.
And I actually really liked this scene when you first see him. Very nice, very nice. So it was like dark, foggy, moonlight and stuff, and they didn't know what the heck they were looking at first.
Because it was sleeping.
Yeah, it was sleeping. and then what I really liked about it as well was the babies.
Yeah, the baby T-Rexes.
So this is something very different. So the babies were covered in down feathers.
Yes, because that was like a nest they kind of stumbled upon.
Yeah, complete nest. Yeah. And it's really good action. But talking about the Tyrannosaurus Rex in particular, what did you think about the chomping noise sound?
Yeah, it was like tapping a cup. You know, like
Yeah.
yeah. Did you get that? It was like it's not what I thought.
No, it caught me a little bit off guard in
Yes,
a way,
okay.
but also I think it more lent to. It sort of probably would have sounded like an alligator or a crocodile
Yeah,
chomping its things down. Maybe they're kind of homage to that. It wasn't too disorienting, but it wasn't what I was expecting at first.
no, but you know what? I wouldn't want to be stuck in that mouth. You know,
No. No.
But yeah, like you touched on the babies. You know, like how you said they're covered in feathers,
Yes.
and but there was I think there was like 3 of them.
Yeah, I think 3,
Yeah.
about 3, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see it because you haven't really seen that.
Yeah,
And,
but how quick did the
anything.
Rex react?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, because I think we found out that it's that's the male.
That's the male.
That was, so obviously the female goes off and hunts,
Yeah.
while the male sits. So that's sort of similar, ties into like lions.
Yeah, we find that obviously they mate for life.
Yes.
So the male is made responsible for the babies and looking after them, while the female goes off to hunt for food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those babies can look after themselves too, by the way.
Yeah. So, like you just said, very much like lions.
Yeah, if you think about it, yeah, it's really, really cool that. So, so Leon and Baker at this point are being chased by this monstrous thing. And what did you think of the shots with the Tyrannosaurus in certain ways? Do you think it was really well done?
Yeah.
Because this budget isn't a huge budget.
It wasn't a huge budget, but for an
No.
Australian film, and you know, obviously they wouldn't have had all the funding that big budget Hollywood
No.
films would have.
No.
But with what they had, Kev,
I know.
they did such a great job. And like again, them running, even showing how
Yep.
they're ducking and diving around things, and the Rex just constantly coming at them, you know, and you
Yeah.
know, but still like that chomp, you know, like a couple
Yeah.
times, you know, but still, you know, them running away from the Rex, and the Rex is just not gonna stop.
But the whole shot of the T-Rex, I thought it was really cool. I thought the design of the T-Rex was really nice.
Yeah.
Something different. The noise of the T-Rex
It's
is different.
unmistakably a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole overall design look of it
Yeah.
is a lot different. And I like the next scene with that is how they jump off the cliff and they land in the water, and then they are being Baker's pulling Leon out of the water, in which we're introduced to another character who is what was her name?
Sophia, played by Trisha
So
Helfer.
Sophia, yes, which is an interesting little pick on that because with her character, I think in the book is a male,
Ah.
so that's not supposed to be. It's sort of the other way around with her backstory.
We learn
so
that she's Russian, folks.
yes, we learn she's very Russian, and she's a paleontologist.
Yes.
So she knows what creatures they are, and the Americans don't. They kind of have an idea, but they're not. It's like, of course, you're seeing something that's supposed to be extinct. How can you think that's real? And yeah, she explains that there are dinosaurs here, and that's a T-Rex, and they're like, what?
Yeah, so she's been there a long time, and we learned that
Yes.
she'd been there with her husband, and so like she'd been there studying the dinosaurs, but we learn how that happens gradually.
Yes.
But
she's
stationed at a Russian research lab.
Yeah. So with her being, she's basically, she's lost her husband, and for her to deal with it, she's just resorted to
Morphine.
being on, morphine. So because being Russian, she's obviously her husband was either killed for a very classified reason,
Yeah.
and so they thought maybe she was probably dead anyway because the creature's running around. So she's basically left there to rot.
Yeah.
So no one's going to come get her. No one's going to save her. But until the Americans now come, and they sort of run into the debacle where Baker has to deal with the situation.
And
And
just touching on that, when we see straight away that she's very reliant on this morphine, like she's very much become an addict, but it's born out of the isolation and obviously having to be on edge and being by herself for so long.
just dealing with just her loss, and she doesn't know what to do. What else she's going to do?
Yeah.
So her character itself is very, very interesting
Yeah.
in a way, and just basically she knows what she's dealing with. She knows how to stop it, but yeah, she just knows that it's just death. She knows that there's a way, but it's going to be hard because it's just dinosaurs everywhere.
And she's very knowledgeable. She doesn't realize that the Americans have no idea about what is going on or what's actually been going on, and that they realizes that they've just been thrown into the thick of it, and that they're there for a rescue mission. And she's kind of saying to them, well, if they're on a rescue mission, the people they're looking for are probably already dead. And you don't know what you've stumbled upon. Yeah.
And with this, so Baker relays this information back to Jericho, basically saying to him, what the hell have you gotten us into? Did you know about this? Did you know about this other stuff that's going on? And Jericho himself doesn't. Did you believe that he knew what was happening, or had some sort of idea?
Not for a second.
No.
No.
I thought he might have had an idea of the other things that are there.
In saying that,
but not the dinosaurs.
Yeah, he knew about this other thing, but had no idea what this thing had created.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem it had created.
So we're introduced to the Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah, that's right.
So the big flying pterosaurs, big flying dinosaurs, and that seems pretty cool. In the book is very, very gruesome. I thought to myself,
Deadly.
How are they going to translate this to the screen? It did really good.
It did.
I thought it was pretty cool. Something was more expected. So
I mean, imagine that. It's like a spear.
yeah. Or beak. Yeah, just the guy looks at him. He's like, "What the heck?" Bang!
Yeah.
It's just ripped apart, gory. Oh,
No surviving that.
No surviving that. But and then going on from there, it's so hard to talk more about what's going to happen now because it's getting to the thick of it now. But when we'll sort of move on from the walkthrough of the movie if you want, if you're happy with that, and let's talk about the music choice.
Oh, how good were the music choices for this? So very timely for 1968, and obviously to get you into the mindset of being in that time. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, very good choice. Of course, you got Fortunate Son near the start. And then you just got other ones. I can't remember the exact names, but if you just think of Fortunate Son, that's pretty much the base of throughout the whole movie. And I thought it was really good. Sets the tone perfectly. And just overall, just a really good, good 80s feel, action. And also, what did you think of some of the additional
dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs,
yeah, which were kind of like background characters, weren't they? Like, because there were obviously a lot of dinosaurs in this film where they were no threat at all to the humans, and it was so good to see them all in their packs. I mean, I love the brachiosaurs, and obviously the pods of families of dinosaurs.
All the herbivores,
the watering holes. And then, like, obviously, we see a scene where, like, they cut down to, they're kind of like on the beach, and there's like the herbivores on the sand, and the Spinosaurus comes out of the water. So you had the Triceratops on the end. Yeah, the Triceratops
on the side. Yeah, so Triceratops. No, you're right. So the Triceratops coming. And they're like, basically leave them alone. If you leave the dinosaurs alone, they'll leave you alone. They're just animals.
How good was it?
And then,
they're walking amongst dinosaurs.
Oh, I was about to say, we've got the montage, little sort of like a montage of the rest of the Vulture Squad trying to survive, trying to navigate their way around. It was really funny, and too, because you're just like, every time they turn, there's another just big meat-eating dinosaur there, and you're just like, it's like, what are we going to do? It's good. It shows off a lot of dinosaurs. So they showed off like a Suchomimus.
Think of the pros and cons. Like, I mean, like the things that, like how these dinosaurs were presented.
For what you said, the tools they had, I like the variety.
Yeah.
They didn't shy away from the variety.
No.
They had a lot. Like they just picked out. I think you picked out much more, but they just picked out, obviously the favorites that everyone would recognize. And it's just really good how they did it. And but as you said, some scenes can take away in a little bit, but not much. It is it's such well done for what they had, and the Luke Sparke himself did the visual effects as well. You know, and he was very passionate. You can see his passion for this film.
Mm-hmm.
He likes dinosaurs, as you can tell, very much.
Yeah.
And he's very passionate of the story, because this story is a very good story.
It is.
And it's a unique story. It's a unique story that we haven't seen with dinosaurs. We haven't, we've seen other things of how people bring stuff from wherever, but this is something that's unique. And I like that in that sense. And when the Spinosaurus came out too, that was really cool, because the Spinosaurus is one of my favorites as well.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him in that way was really good. I was really happy with that.
Yeah,
and just the presentation of the dinosaurs, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that even though it doesn't matter where they are, there's always a threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You don't want to feel. I like that. There was no comfortableness. The only time they got comfortable was when they were walking with the like you said, the brachiosaur sort of dinosaurs. They were just walking casually.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool, really good feel. But what do you think about the gore level? Like, did you think it raised, or did it stay the same?
You know what?
I thought
it got intense in some moments, especially like they showed like obviously how really bad it can be if you're attacked by one of these dinosaurs. Like some of the bodies they found. I mean, it wasn't like just blood everywhere, but it was like gore. The damage to the human body. And
disembowelment was great.
And even like
they didn't shy away.
Yeah, like even when like that scene where what were they called? The
flying ones,
when they speared the guy. And then he's on the ground looking up at it, and it's just eating his intestines. And it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to see that anywhere else. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
But
great.
even like some of the scenes where like the Rexes picking up soldiers, left and right, and like just cutting them in half, and like just one chucked half a body to the other Rex, and it's like,
They did well. It was very good combat with the interaction with the humans and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It was just really good. Also, when we're talking about the dinosaur, we're talking about a specific dinosaur. We figured out the big dinosaurs, so the big raptors. And I liked how they never called them Utah raptors.
No, they just called them raptors.
But these are Utah raptors, and that's very cool, because at that time they knew about velociraptors, but they didn't know that Utah raptors were a thing.
And these had feathers.
Yes,
yeah.
Massive big feathers, which is really cool. And they're the biggest. The Utah raptors are actually the biggest raptors.
They're like 6 foot high.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They're absolutely huge, and they are very, very clever and really cool.
Very cunning.
But there's a lot of them.
And
there's a lot of them.
Pack hunters as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just the way they portrayed that raptor was really good.
Yeah.
Because it was just as a silent killer, because this thing killed. Well, I mean, there's a lot. It's not just one particular one.
Yeah.
But they're very silent. They're very quick. They're very cunning.
But they keep coming too.
Oh yeah. They just keep hammering, and it's just so good. I think we're getting pretty far, and I really want to talk about spoilers, because there's a lot.
There is.
There's a bit to talk about. So before we do that, we need to make sure we rate this movie. And so I'll let you kick this off. So what do you think?
Folks, I rate this 5 out of 5 popcorn buckets. Just on pure, just, the adrenaline, you're excited, you just, everything, it's non-stop, and like this film really delivers. So 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Wow, good job, man. I will second that. I'll basically say this, to me, this is a 5 out of 5 movie. On the premise is that this is something that is different.
Yeah.
It's very unique. It is something that's taking the step up from what we've seen in this genre. Because I've seen a lot of movies in this genre. We know the popular ones.
Yeah.
But I've also seen the I've seen ones that are just like, I don't know why that was made.
Yeah.
I've seen different ideas with dinosaurs, but this I like because it takes two genres. It takes the Vietnam War,
Yeah.
and it takes dinosaurs, and it puts them together, and you just have a very popcorn, fun, friendly. I wouldn't say family friendly,
Yeah.
but a very action popcorn movie that gives you nostalgic for the 80 action films.
Exactly, and because it throws you in the thick of it, it just keeps you gripped to your seat, and
yes,
the whole runtime, you're just like, oh, again,
yeah.
bring it more, and so like the fact that it's getting such a critical reception on Netflix right now, is just a testament to Luke and his team.
Go see this film.
Yes.
So it's on Netflix now. I do think they have released physical releases. Yes. I don't know here in Australia though.
But you can get it.
I don't know if they have it yet.
You can get it.
You can get it. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
Luke Sparke, if you see this, if you see this review, could you send me a copy of that?
Hook us up, bro. Hook us up.
Hook us up, bro. Hook us up, please. But yeah, all right, guys. If you have made it this far, thank you so much.
Yes.
We've really enjoyed this film. This film is a film I was looking forward to for ever since I heard about it. And I think they delivered really well. It's a very good film. But thank you everyone who's stayed with us this far. Yeah. And if you have, please like and subscribe and comment, letting us know what you thought of Primitive War.
Yeah.
And also join us, make sure you check out us on our socials like Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube.
Where else? Yep, YouTube, where you're watching us now.
All our podcast platforms.
Exactly. And if you want to listen to the spoilers, we're about to get into them now.
Yeah.
And if not, then we'll see you next time.
And Kev.
All right.
We're here to spoilers.
Yep, we're here to spoil the movie for everybody.
So, geez.
We got a few talking points to talk about with the spoilers in a way. Like we were walking through the movie, and I didn't really want to keep going because it's starting to get into a certain death scenes that we use. Because obviously everyone's getting hunted down, picked up one by one, and so we'll start going through them. So where we sort of left off is where Baker met Sophia. So when the Quetzalcoatlus is attacked, so the Vulture Squad got up and left. So
Miller.
Keyes got shot.
Yeah. Well, Keyes got shot. Yeah.
Keyes got shot in the leg, which led up to a big shootout with the other Russian squad. And so Keyes, they were trying to get him away, and then they were again attacked by the Deinonychuses again. These little buggers, they don't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Keyes was attacked by Utah Raptor.
And
my God,
that was
unlucky guy.
And you were asking about gore. I mean, jeez, that was gory. But that's when they reunited with Baker and Sophia, and they managed to get Keyes away back to the research facility.
Yep. Which leads to, I believe this is the first death of the Vulture Squad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're trying to look after Keyes as best as they can, and of course, he's been nearly disemboweled by a raptor.
Yeah, exactly, and they're trying to patch him up and everything like that, and relying on the morphine, and obviously we see more of Sophia. And using the morphine that they're trying to give to Keyes, but obviously they still don't know what the hell's going on. No. And so when Sophia realizes that these guys have no idea what's been happening, she reveals to Baker and the team that the reason they were there was because a particle collider was built.
Yep. By a Russian commander, Borodin.
That's right. And folks, obviously, if you don't realize what the particle collider entails, it's able to develop wormholes where...
Yeah, well, this one did. This one created wormholes. Yeah. So their whole premise was to basically control it, they wanted to the Russians thought they're going to make a particle collider that creates wormholes to put over the Americas soil and bomb
They
them.
wanted to send tanks through the
Yeah,
wormholes
onto
to the
exactly.
White House lawn, I think they said, and they wanted to be
Wipe
able to
them out.
wipe them out. Yeah,
And that's a very interesting premise because I'm like, how are you going to control that?
exactly.
Obviously, they couldn't.
No, they couldn't.
Because then we slowly find out that after they like fired the particle collider and Borden was just wanted it done, that they created a wormhole to the past and the dinosaurs walked through it.
Yeah,
Which is interesting because I'm like, how? Like, because I'm thinking, how did they just walk through it? Because when you see it, it's sort of like this way.
yeah, because it's kind of like opened up this massive
Yeah, so it's
hole. So like,
horizontal.
yeah, because for the dinosaurs to go through it.
I thought it'd be vertical.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was all encompassing and like the
like Seagate.
yeah,
Is what it was.
yeah, or Stargate.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Stargate, not Seagate. Sorry. Yeah, Stargate. Thank you.
It's all good.
But anyway, that's a little thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they decided to bring this, and they accidentally brought in dinosaurs, and then they're like, okay. So then the Russians are like, well, maybe we could use the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we'll see what we can do with them, and that's what led to them obviously not being able to control them.
No.
So Borden wiped out Sophia's husband's team.
Yeah.
And all that, and they thought she was dead because she was off doing something else. And so she comes back and finds out her husband's dead, and then that's how she's been staying. So when they're at the Sophia's little hideout, the Utah Raptors track them down.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big Raptors come and track them down. They find them, and Keyes decides to. Well, Baker wants to take Keyes with him, and Sophia's telling him, "No, you can't. He's going to die.
Yeah.
Just let it go."
His injuries,
which is fair
bad.
enough.
Yeah,
it's fair enough, man. Like, how you going to do that?
Baker's like leave no man behind, but even they realise that his injuries are not survivable.
Well, Keyes himself knows.
Yeah.
Keyes is like, "I'm going to die anyway, man. So just put me in a corner and just give me 2 grenades, just 2."
Yeah,
and. Yeah, exactly. He just lets him go and poof. So that's how Keyes goes out.
Yeah.
They get onto a boat.
Yeah.
And they move out. They move outwards to obviously go into attack to stop Borden.
Yeah. Further into the jungle.
Yeah. And with this, we come up to Logan's death.
Yeah.
Which is a very sad way, but obviously to save everyone else.
Yeah, even Baker tried talking him down at one point, and
because he was gonna shoot himself on the boat, and Baker Senior's like, "Hang on, man, no, we still need you. I need you.
Yeah.
We need everyone we can, and we need you. You're important."
Yeah.
But the voices in his head got the best of him, so Logan they're being attacked again by the Deinonychuses. Man, these little buggers, and Logan runs off. And basically stops him. He just wants to stop the voices and kills himself, and obviously keeps them with him
so they can get away.
Moving on to sort of the climax area of this film, where we see Borden.
Yeah,
we see his encampment, and basically when we first introduced to him, we're introduced to him through the other Russian. Soldiers that returned to say, "Hey, there's dinosaurs," because they had no idea either, and they're pissed off because they're like, "You sent us to kill the Americans, but you didn't tell us about these creatures." So interesting that even the Russians and some people didn't know about them. So, and then which leads us to a really interesting part, which is when one of the perimeter guards shoots a little Tyrannosaurus Rex baby.
Yeah, and that sets off a war zone.
Whole chain of events. Exactly. This is where the big war part happens. So obviously Borden sees the dead T-Rex and he's like, "What have you done?" And boom,
the next thing,
big T-Rex comes in, ripping everyone apart. And while this is happening, you you have it's not Miller. Keep forgetting his dang name.
Eli?
Not Eli.
No.
So yeah, so it's supposed to be Eli, and it is Miller. Sorry,
Yeah.
I did take that back. So Miller. So they're supposed to set up bombs to destroy the camp and
Mhm.
whatever. And the way to stop this collider from firing again is to pull the plug.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, because Baker originally wanted to drop bombs on it, but Sophia says you drop bombs on it, it'll create the wormhole could be created, and you could drop bombs on anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but we also found that,
So-
leading up to this that what's his name? Jericho. Sorry, Jericho
Yep.
didn't want them to destroy the particle collider because we
Yes.
find that they're obviously motivated by their own means, wanting to get a hold of that technology.
Yeah,
Whereas,
which is
yeah,
interesting.
Baker is like, we're destroying that thing.
Destroying it, man.
Yeah.
Just look what it's done.
Yeah.
Well, Jericho at this point doesn't believe there's dinosaurs. He doesn't.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He thinks he's crazy.
He just thinks Baker's not listening to him or not paying attention to his commands.
And so, going on from this big war that's happening, they track down Borden in the room where they're going to pull the plug, and Borden attacks Adam and Sophia shoots him, I'm pretty sure, and so they think he's dead, and then something happens and turns around, he's not dead.
He's not, but he soon will be.
No, will be, because you got a whole slew of the Utah Raptors just coming at them, and then they leave. The rest of the Vulture Squad leave, and then Borden's demise is taken away. Yeah, he's taken away by the Utah Raptors and kaput. And so they're just like, or Baker's like, I have to destroy this. We have to destroy the particle collider. And he offers to sacrifice himself to keep the Utah Raptors off the rest of the squad.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the climactic part
So, like, obviously, we're seeing from multiple.
with Jericho?
Yeah, like we're seeing from multiple angles. Like when Jericho realizes what's actually going on, and they're in the choppers, and they're seeing that there's insane.
Yeah, his reaction is Jericho's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but how quick?
going
how
on
quick
here?
did he go hands on?
Yeah, he's just like, let's get. Well, basically, he was there to pick up the Vulture Squad and get out.
Yeah.
And he just realized the situation is way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse. Because you have a barrage of Utah Raptors Dynarchs. You just have everything coming at them. And it's a cool action
It
sequence,
really
slow
is.
motion.
And obviously, folks, we see Baker, he goes out in a blaze of glory. Like, those Utah Raptors are pursuing him, and he uses the grenades, blows them up. He makes sure, that the team get away, and before he does.
Yeah.
But those Utah Raptors, they kept coming. Didn't matter. He was throwing grenade after grenade. They kept coming.
It was a good scene. Like, I liked it with the guy with the big machete just slicing.
Yeah, that one where he chopped their head off. I'm like, come on.
That was a bit embellishment, but it was fun.
But hey,
it was fun.
That's a knife.
Yeah, it's fun though. That's what I really
That
liked
was
about
fun.
this film. It was just fun.
Jericho was loving it.
Big action. Oh yeah, and then after that they take off. Obviously they escape, and then they're just sitting there with wondering, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And that's what we are wondering. What do we do now?
Yeah.
So like it's sort of a cool, because now the dinosaurs are obviously in the land. Now they're established. So interesting to see how they move on from this. But before that, with the credit scenes, the little snippets. I read a little fact that footage is actual real footage from the Vietnam.
Wow.
They just obviously put in the dinosaurs. They did a good job.
Visual effects.
They did a really good job.
Yeah.
So the way they had, because they had to work with this film that the raw footage, and they had to angle those dinosaurs to make it look like it was interacting with whoever was there. They did a good job.
So they did kind of like a Forrest Gump thing where they've interacted real footage with, Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. It was very well done, and then basically end credit scene, and there's no post credit scene or anything like that. So There's nothing you need to really hang for, but the overall, like we said before, this movie is just fun.
It is.
If you want a fun movie, just watch it.
And all of
Just watch it.
them makes you so excited for the fact that now number 2 is in pre-production, folks.
Yes, it is. Luke Sparke himself has put on his Instagram that Primitive War 2 is officially in the works.
There you go.
So I think it is going to be based sort of like Cold War.
Yep.
So interesting.
It's going to be interesting to
I
see
have no idea
what happens to the dinosaurs if, and how they...
I'm going to stop them.
Yeah, exactly. What the threat...
Or they could weaponize them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
it's going to be interesting.
I'm actually intrigued. So, all right, guys. That is our review of Primitive War. And thank you so much if you stuck around this way. And if you have, let us know. Let us know. Because we're very intrigued. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And yeah. Thank you as well for just supporting us and sticking with us. And, watch our other videos that we've released. And, just give us your thoughts. And
that's it.
Stay with us because we're going to keep bringing new content and more fun reviews like this.
That's it. All right, then. And with that, we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Have a good one, folks.